Oh, this is ladies' night, and the feel is right. Y'all, I have not spoken in like days, so it is crazy that I am kicking off my voice with one of my favorite bits of content to do in the full Eurovision season. I'm not alone, it's the Ladies' Choice live stream, and some of y'all are already here. We are going to be talking about semi-final two, but before we get into that, we've got to introduce the lovely panel, so I'm going to kick it off right here. Take it away.
Hey everyone, it is Lilli Love Stuff. I am on the EurovisionFAM team, which is at EurovisionFAM on like everything. And I'm excited to be here. I don't know what else to
say. I'm Viv from over at ESCXtra. This is also one of my favorite things to do over Eurovision season. It's the 4th year we're doing this now, or fourth. I think it's the 4th. It's just so much fun.
Hey, I'm Faith from ESCXtra. I also have my own channel. I'm also very active on X as well. I believe this is my 2nd year doing this. I also did this last year. So much fun. I'm very excited to discuss my opinions.
Hello everyone, my name is Lou. I am from the land of Bambi Thug and Laika the Space Dog. I'm from Ireland and I'm one of the co-hosts and co-founders of the Éirevision podcast, Ireland's #1 Eurovision podcast. We recently actually had Alicia as a guest on our International Women's Day episode, and we had to shout out Ladies' Choice like multiple times because, as some of the girls have mentioned, this is like a highlight for me every season, getting to come and talk with all of these beautiful ladies. So thanks everyone for joining.
And I'm Brooke. I'm also from EurovisionFAM.com, part of the editorial team. So you can find me with Lilli over there. I'm also really active on Blue Sky and Instagram. So if you find the Eurovision fan pages, you'll find links to the rest of us from there.
I love it. I love it. We've got a wonderful international panel here because, you know, like sometimes in the Eurovision space, and I'm just going to acknowledge this, it can feel like, are we here? Do we exist here? And yes, here we are. Okay, well, we're kicking off and we're going to be talking about semi-final 2. For me, I just want to be very clear about this. Semi-final 2 actually might be my favorite semi this year. It is. I feel like there are more songs I listen to in semi-final 2 than I do in semi-final 1. I feel like we have had this trend in recent years of this being like the potpourri semi is kind of how I call it. I feel like this is the semi where it's like, okay, how is this gonna work out? But I want to kick off and ask the panel. We're starting on a high. What's your favorite act in this semi? Who wants to shout out first?
For me, it has to be our gal, Mariana Conte from Malta, serving. I absolutely love this. I love how they presented it in Malta on the stage. I think I nearly died when I saw the pink bouncy balls coming out. Obsessed with her, having one handed to her in Amsterdam last night. So funny. I hope this does really, really well, and I definitely see her in the final. There's such a pathway for her. I see it.
Okay. I might probably be on the other end of the spectrum. As I've been saying this whole season, this to me is a year where Eurovision is really, really hard work. Most of the songs are way out of my musical comfort zone. But I also have my favorite in this semi, and it's Czechia. I think it's stunning. He's amazing, and I also think it's going to look really, really good on stage.
My number 2 is actually in the semi. Oh, sorry. My number 2 is in the semi, which is Finland. I think I'm not going to be the first to say this. And they're in the final spot again, rightfully so. um, and yeah, I'm not the first person to say this. I think I think it kind of lost a little bit of momentum within Eurovision fans, just because I think recency bias. But I think now that all the parties are happening, she seems to be really, really well received. I think from what I heard, she got the biggest cheer last night. Very fun, very exciting. And yeah, that's my favorite in the semi.
Okay, so we shouted out. We have Malta from Louise. We've got Czechia from Wiv, and then we have uh, Finland, which I'm gonna say, yeah, Finland might be my fave. I will say in the semi. Okay, Lilli, then Brooke.
I was gonna say Czechia is also my favorite. There's something about that song and like the structure of it combined with Adonis's voice that just like hits me, and I'm like not normally something that's a slower tempo. So yeah, that's Kiss Kiss Goodbye is amazing.
Okay, wait, but is Adonis really a giant? Or is he wearing the Herman Munster shoes? Because we spent a lot of time talking about the styling, and I will just say the Herman Munster shoes are like they're back in, and they're like a foot tall. So is Adonis wearing the Herman Munster shoes? We need someone on the ground to report back. Check out the next state of play. All right, Brooke.
Okay, so for me, it's Latvia. I'm running around the house just like Berman, 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 like nonstop. Like I'm summoning, I don't even know what I'm summoning over here. Like I probably need to learn a little more Latvian, or there's like potential for danger. But I'm absolutely entranced by those women. That's exactly what I love to see at Eurovision, is that kind of like ethereal, just quality and harmony. I'm really hopeful for them. I'm not positive that I'm going to see something that's going to qualify from them, but I want to. So we'll get to that. But that is far and away my favorite from this semi.
And they are absolutely stunning live.
That's the thing I think with Latvia. So many people are nervous about it qualifying, and I'm like, y'all, the stage show was like perfection and supernova. Like it's sonically beautiful. It's what a lot of people come to Eurovision for. So I'm personally not worried for it. Okay, so we started off on a high note. Favorite act in the semi: Finland, Czechia, Latvia, Malta. I mean, which I think are some of the heavy hitters, particularly in the fandom already. Okay, but we know Eurovision is all about how you bring the song to life. Okay, so it's not just about how, we're enjoying the sonic journey that we are on. So who do you think is going to actually have the best staging in the semi? I don't know who wants to offer themselves for tribute and go first.
I'll go first on this one because I thought about this for a while. I think Australia is going to have something really big because they're opening up the semi. And when you look at the running order, we know you need time to move set pieces. So I'm thinking that we're going to get something really big from Australia. Just because, and I'm looking at like Montenegro in second. I don't think Montenegro is going to have a really big stage show. So I feel like Australia is going to be really impressive. I'm hoping for an ice cream truck.
I think that's happening, Lilli, because Marvin Dietman is staging Australia, and he staged Voyager 2 years ago. And if you remember, there was a huge car on the stage, which was like a big part of that staging. And looking back on, there's a recap of his work on YouTube of his Eurovision entries, and he loves a big prop. So I definitely think an ice cream van is not out of the question.
Yeah, I was going to say Australia too as well, actually. Well, it was one of the two I was going to mention. Because it's funny, because I always felt like Australia was going to open as well, because I felt like there's so much you can do with that song. I really hope they kind of delve into the kind of psychedelic elements. I really hope they just kind of go all out. And I think the fact that you're right, the fact that they're opening suggests that they've got something really fun. And clearly family friendly. But they've always said that. They've always said the song's interpretive. get your mind out the gutter, they basically said. Like, but I'm very excited to see Australia staging. They've been a bit hit or miss recently, but I think if they go the Voyager route, I think it's going to be really good.
Well, as my mom said, everyone likes milkshakes. So, we're going to kick off the show big, bold, fun, family friendly. I mean, honestly, Australia actually has, I don't even want to say it's my guilty pleasure, but there are times when I'm listening to it in the car and I'm like, this is nasty. This is nasty. But I do love the song. I do love it. If your mind goes there, I just will say, and you sit there and listen to the lyrics, it is like, how dare you? How dare you, sir? But I'm going back to what my mother said. Everyone likes milkshakes. Okay, back on who will have the best staging.
I'm gonna name drop another creative director here. If we look at what Austria is going to bring, and we know like Austria's song has a lot of fan love and is being tipped as a potential winner, having the likes of Sergio Hyen, who worked on, of course, our very own Bambi's staging last year, which was an incredible stage show, it has to be said. I think Sergio Hyen is going to really work some magic with that interesting song from Austria, and I really hope that he does, because that song is deserving of big, bold staging. And I think the fact that Austria clearly nabbed him so early, we spoke to our head of delegation. He said it was too late to get Sergio when he approached him. He had been booked and busy by many other delegations, also Cyprus and Finland. They're going to work some real magic with that staging, because Austria clearly want to win this year.
Well, I put up Nil Era's comment because this was a thing that I was wondering. And I do say this, like the creative director is, I think, 50% of the way. I think the other 50% really is the artist. I think Bambi really did have a vision, had a focus to kind of give that creative director something to work with. Because lest we forget, Sergio did do all of UMK, like all the staging there. And some of it was good. And some of it, I think, was like, okay, not bad, but just like, oh, okay. And so I do want to say, like, I don't want to hype. I think this is just me being like cautious. Perhaps I'm living in my like, cautious optimism where I'm just like, look, the creative director can't do all the work. The artist still has to have a vision, has to have a clear point of view and something to deliver there. But I also see still down with the Mutant Underground. Okay, coming heavy with the username. My bet for best staging is Austria. I still don't think it will win, but what they're talking about staging wise sounds really ambitious and risky. So I guess we will see. Oh wait, well, we haven't heard from everybody. Come on, the best staging. Who do you think?
I think, I think I do have high hopes for Finland because of obviously they're using the same staging director. And what I was going to say in regards to Bambi, I remember being on a lot of Bambi's live streams and they were saying how they were such a perfectionist to the point where they were being really annoying, because when obviously they have stand-ins to do the staging before the artists arrive to Basel, they have basically stand-ins do the staging and then they send it back to the delegation to be like, what do you think? And Bambi said they were so nitpicky because they wanted every single thing, like, so basically Bambi worked very well with Sergio, but Bambi had a very clear vision, but we don't know if JJ is necessarily going to have that. I'd like to be optimistic and say they would, but the other act I think could have amazing staging is Latvia, because I thought their staging in Supernova was gorgeous and like just with all the twinkly lights, and I think just being made bigger on the stage, and I think it's a really interesting stage we had this year, and as I said, I think I said in a previous stream, I think the Swiss are going to be really good, touchwood, with like production, so I think just that elevated is going to stand out and just be absolutely gorgeous. I think people are really underrating it, and they shouldn't, because I think it's beautiful.
Those are the two I was going to mention as well. I put stars next to those. I think Austria, because, I mean, just look at what they did in the video. And I don't think their ambitions aren't going to be any lower for the live show. And also Latvia. I saw them on a tiny little stage in a tiny little venue in Oslo a couple of weeks ago. And they are stunning. And also every performance we've seen, they nail it every single time. I think Latvia and Austria. And then I also have hopes for, well, let's wait for that one. I'll comment on that when we get to who we want to qualify.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think this is a good kind of transitionary period. So the next question, and we did do this last year, and I remember this was probably like our most robust piece, and like people were engaging in the comments, just like, whoa, hold on, how can you think this won't make it? Look, so what do we have to say? Comments are not endorsements. Sometimes we are speaking from sheer optimism or fear, you know, because sometimes we have to be realistic, you know, because ultimately all of the songs are not going to make it. Okay? They're not all going to make it. So for some of us, we find it good to process, some of us is me, where it's just like, if I can begin to accept the reality, okay, if I can begin to accept the reality, it makes the hammer coming down a little bit easier. Okay, so who do you want to see qualify and who probably won't? And I always say, like, this is my category where I'm like, who do I feel like I need to fight for? You know, like, I look at the list and I'm like, who do I need to fight for? I'll tell you, like, in semifinal 1, I've got like 3 to 4 songs, maybe just even 3, that I feel like I got to fight for. So when it comes to the rest of the world voting, I'm just allocating my points that way because I'm a strategic voter. Okay. Like, I'm going to be like, let's be real. I'm just going to put it out there. So a little preview for semifinal 1. When we discuss it, we have not talked about semifinal 1 yet. Sweden does not need my votes. Europe, you got it. Okay. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Go on and do it. I believe in you. I think you'll get it done. But I don't feel like I need to be fighting for Sweden this year. It's number 1 in the betting odds. The song is fun. My mom, like, when she reacted, I don't know, like, the moment that my mom was like reacting to Bada Bada Bastu, she was literally like, like, it was like, just as it went on, was like, oh, like, yay. Like, the generals are going to be into it. So yes, so the question is, who do you want to see qualify? Who probably won't? And I'm like, should I put this back up? Should I put this back up? I don't know. You know what? I'm offering you as tribute. You're going first. You're kicking us off.
Thank you. Lithuania. I love Lithuania. It's one of my favorite songs this year. And I don't know if I don't think it's going to qualify or if it's just the terror of it not qualifying. I love it. They're amazing live. The song really is something different, but maybe it's too different.
I'm living in a world that makes it, okay?
Yeah.
And perhaps I am locked in, you know, a wind tunnel of delusion, okay? And the onslaught is just coming at me. I am living in a world where Lithuania makes it. But I hear you, though, because I do think there are some people who are preparing themselves. I'm not calling them negative because sometimes we just have to prepare ourselves. Anyone else? I don't know. Louise, I know you were like nodding with, I think Lithuania is making it, but I don't know.
Lithuania.
I hope everyone nodding is right.
Lithuania, I think, have made it with worse songs in more competitive semis. They have such strong diaspora. This is offering something in the semi that most other entries aren't. So I think you shouldn't worry too much. I think Lithuania is okay. I'm out here batting for Denmark because the odds are not great. This is a year full, and this is a semi-final. We should mention, given this is ladies' choice, this is a very boppy, female-heavy semi-final, and I love Sazal. I love her voice. It sounds just like the studio track. There was a lot of talk after Dansk Melody Grand Prix about the staging not being strong enough. She's promised us a good stage show, so I'm crossing everything that we're going to get that. I hope that the odds aren't true. I don't want to pay attention to that nonsense. She doesn't have the best ever running order that she could have had. I wish they'd put her on a little bit later. But Denmark have been non-qualifying many years in a row. Most of the time, I would say deserved. I don't want to be shady, but they haven't deserved to qualify most years. But I think this year they would. I really love this song. I just know in a Euro club, Euro bash situation, I'd be getting down to this on the dance floor, and I just love her personality as well on top of things. So I'm really, really hoping that Denmark can make it through this one.
I'm going to jump in, and this is going to be controversial. I think Greece. I'm
I see it. I see it.
I don't know, because I think the running order hasn't done them any favors at all. They're really sandwiched in between some big hitters, and I'm scared it's going to be like a 2018 like situation where we thought they were a pretty strong qualifier and then they didn't qualify. I'm just a bit worried. This is like it's one of these things where it's like I'm 50-50, and I know like I want them to qualify, but like seeing the running order, I'm scared. Like, and also seeing how strong people are at the pre-parties, like people who we thought might not make it are kind of going up the odds a bit. So I'm a little bit worried for Greece, as in I think I would give my points to her. I mean, she stands out in the sense that she's, there is a very boppy semi, but she's in between, what is it? She's in between the UK and Lithuania, and then just before the UK is Austria. And like, she's really in the middle. And then after Lithuania, it's Malta. She's really in the middle of like some big favorites. And I'm kind of scared about that. And yeah, and I'm worried kind of Georgia and Greece might potentially cancel each other out a little bit, because Georgia isn't that far down. I'm giving Alicia a heart attack. I feel so bad. But I'm trying to like, I've been down this road before where like I was pretty sure something would qualify and then it doesn't, and I'm trying to cover my bases. I'm a bit worried about Greece. So
Yeah. For a lot, like when we're looking at just the acts that are in this and the ballads in particular, I am actually throwing my weight behind Montenegro in this semi. That is I need them to qualify. I want Nina to qualify. Her voice takes me away. Like that has like the little bit of like strutty Bond themeness to it. And it's just I think the lyrics are friggin' outstanding to me. Like they're really just kind of like powerful, and just I don't know, she's just delivering it in this way that I'm like, I want your story. Like, let's go sit down and have coffee. Like, let's just talk. Like, I just want to be in your world, and I need you to qualify. So that's Greece would also be qualified. I'm in a world where these two ballads don't touch each other in any sort of way, and they can both get through. When I look at the odds and I see basically most of my favorites in this semi are off the odds, like they're the bottom 5-6, and I'm just like, this is horrible for me. So
yeah, so for me, my answer to this question, like who do I want to see qualify, who probably won't, is fully Montenegro. I just feel like in a year like this, which I think we've got some songs that are very basic, very, very basic. And I'm not living in a world where I have deep confidence that they're even going to all be delivered vocally to a competent level. to watch Nina do this, and I actually think Montenegro has had times where they have staged well. So I don't think it'll just be like not delivered well, but I want to fight for it, but I'm almost kind of like, fine, I'll let it go. If it's like, if you just keep not letting me have nice things, I'm willing to let it go. I will say with Greece, I think Greece is qualifying. I do, and mostly because of what I just said. I do think that this year, when you listen to the whole playlist, to me, Greece's song is one of the ones that clearly stand out for me. And but I will tell you, okay, I can't because I have no voice, but y'all know 2018, one of the better songs that year, period. But then they stuck her on stage with a blue hand and no vocals. So, I mean, bye girl. It's like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I don't think that they're going to do that to Claudia though. I think that this song is too good. I do think that they have ultimately learned their lesson. But yeah, like it just, yeah, I'm living in the world of, who do I want to see qualify, but who probably won't. I'm living, Montenegro's probably the one because I guess maybe I'm still living in the dust storm of delusion that Lithuania is a lock qualifier. I think it's safely in, and maybe I'm living in but hold on, because Louise, since I have you, do you realize there are people who think Ireland's not qualifying?
I do, Alicia. Yeah.
I think it's qualifying. I think it's making it.
I'm going to be honest. I'm saying we're 50-50 right now. I don't think we're guaranteed a spot in that final, unfortunately. I think it's really going to depend on the night. Like, I think Latvia is really going to stand out after us, which could hurt us a little bit.
Okay.
I'm wondering what Australia are going to do. They have the same staging director as us. I'm hoping that the kids will come out and vote for like a party,
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, one of my friends who's not at all in the Eurovision bubble, her only relation to Eurovision is I show her songs. She approached me with like a party. And she found it on her own. Like, I love this. So I don't know if that makes you feel a little better.
Thank you, Lilli.
I mean, let's see. So what are folks saying? So, Kokika? Ireland can't.
Irving can't?
Right? Sandro says, I don't think Ireland is making it. Giorgio says Ireland is. Here's the thing that made me, I will tell you this. Here's the thing that made me go, okay, maybe I could let it go. The music video.
Where's
that
the dog
was
in the music video? That's my issue.
We had no dog. We had the same clothes that we wore, on the Dink Dink stage. And then low key, the music video was still giving. Have we left the Late Late Show studio? Are we still there? I would like to know why we are still there. And everybody knows I like that song. Okay, like it is one of my more played songs in the name of Aqua. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Das Mystery Man, Ireland is borderline. Okay, and then Gospodin says, I think Ireland will be buried by Luxembourg, Denmark. People will forget on it after Malta, Finland, Denmark, and Luxembourg. To me, also, too, what hurt it, I mean, the running order. I don't really think does it many favors. It is so early on, and I do think even with this being a more male-heavy year, I don't know. Why couldn't we get Bobby? Okay, I shouldn't live in the past.
We won't get into that.
Yeah, I shouldn't live in the past. But to be fair, I mean, I liked Niall. I liked Freya. Fire. Okay, I'm like, okay. It's like, okay,
Part of me
girl.
wonders, would Niall have been better off in this particular semi? With a
I
very
think
different
so.
song, a very different vocal to the rest of the field,
Yeah, I do actually think Niall would have been fine. I will be real. I actually think Bobby, even in third running order, with more money, with more budget, could have worked. The only one that I was like, no, would have not worked, Samantha Moomba. Sorry, Sam.
And I don't know if you followed Alicia, but there was a lot of drama following our final.
A lot?
Yes.
Did you see it?
Wait. That's right. She wrote something on Instagram, like basically
Yeah.
like the panel didn't. She was talking about the panel, right?
She put up a photo of her with her daughter, like, and had a really wholesome, like, post thanking everybody, and then at the very end told the whole panel who were commentating to go choke on a bag of big aubergines, and that she thought they were all bozos, which I haven't heard in like 20 years.
Well,
I'm so glad I could deliver this to you.
well, I mean, okay, hold on. Okay. Well, let me just say this. I obviously, other than Bambi, the panel, why? Y'all got my number, RTE. You know, I can get to Ireland. We got direct flights.
Direct
from
flights,
DC.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I could have been there.
I thought they
They
were
had
great.
you on
They
the
just said
panel,
what they
Lou.
didn't want to hear.
Yeah, Louise is local. I mean, we
Yeah.
could have had some people that would actually give the one thing that I think I was just off of them was when, and then like it kind of invalidated like all the other things that were said were just them sort of saying like, oh, I don't think like they want ethnic like from us at Eurovision. And I was just like, y'all don't listen. I just was like, oh, like you are listening to no one. Like it just made everything else like you offer me nothing. Okay. Okay. So I'm still living a little bit in but you know, there's so many countries actually before we get to kind of like who we think, well, I don't know, we should rip the Band-Aid. So group discussion. Who can we, I'm curious, especially for semifinal 2, who we can all agree is probably not qualifying. Because I think this is the harder one to kind of definitively say, oh, it's out. Like it's like looking at the lineup, like, oh yeah, this is not happening. I think it's harder. Like Australia now kicking off. I think there were some people who are living in a world, oh, Australia's, you know, on the fence, but now they're opening the show. They've got a good staging director who's actually going to have like a creative focus and intentionality behind the package that we will be consuming. You know, we all want Montenegro to qualify. And I think that there are some people who can do the math and figure out a pathway for them. Ireland, it seems we're 50-50. Latvia, I think we're mostly optimistic. We haven't talked about Armenia. And I will say, although I did not love the vocal presentation at Armenia's national selection, apparently last night, Parg was sounding good. So, you know, it's like, is Armenia in play now? Austria, I think it's a lock we all know is going to qualify. UK is not really competing, you know. Greece, I think it seems like we're 50-50. Lithuania, I think we're living in optimism. Malta's definitely making it. I remember there was like conversations early in the season about Malta not making it. Who are those delusional people? Like it's just like, come on. It's making it. Georgia, well, actually Georgia, because I'll tell you, I don't think it's making it.
Yeah.
Let's see what the comments are saying. Okay, we got Happy, Georgia is DOA. Anonymous, Georgia, the crowd at Amsterdam Eurovision in concert was so dead. Okay. Someone said only Georgia, like only Georgia. That we all feel so happy. ESC Dakota, Serbia is out. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm living in a world Serbia's out. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, they were barely qualifying the last couple of years with things that were actually good. So,
The running
And I know
order.
this year's weaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't
Yeah.
think the running order helps it. Yeah, Faith,
No.
take it away.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. I was going to say that was the other one I was going to say. Serbia. The running order does it absolutely no favors. It's also quite a date. It sounds a little bit dated. It's performed well. Like he can perform it well, but I just don't think there's enough of an audience for it to vote for it. And
Well,
yeah, as you
hold on, Faith. So Nil Era says Serbia will have the moms voting, not my mom.
No.
I'm a mom, not me.
I'm a mom, not voting for that.
Yeah, out of the, like what mom, and I sometimes can be susceptible to the wine mom of it all. Okay, shuto and tuto. Okay, shuto.
Ladies' choice
tuto.
realness right now.
I'm just saying. I just am like, what moms?
Europe does get weak for a man with his arms out, though. So if you put him in a sleeveless top, there is a pathway for
But
Serbian
Parg,
qualification.
but we're getting Parg,
getting Parg.
But
and he
Parg's
looked better. But Parg looks, you know what I mean? Like
Adonis as well.
Oh, and Adonis?
Yeah.
Oh, please. Yeah. Wait, who's performing shirtless? Because there was an article that came out that it was like, I will be performing shirtless. Is that Parg? Do we know? I saw, or maybe it was an April Fool's. Because I can't remember what day I saw it. It could have been April 1st. But I saw a report that somebody said that they would just be performing shirtless. I thought it was Parg. If that's going to happen, it's over. It's over. And y'all know I love Prince. Prince has the Fabio hair and the beautiful vocals. But I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised. I mean, I can never say never. Because I'm thinking the only kind of comparison I can think of is, with Latvia last year, we were all pretty sure it wasn't qualifying, and then it did. But I think his song was a bit more what's the word? I think it just related to more people. It was when it came out, the song was a favorite. To be fair, when we heard the songs for Supernova, that was a favorite. Whereas with this one, Mila, it's not. It was on no one's radar, and even after winning the national final, it's still not on anyone's radar. They would have to do something very show-stopping on stage to stand out, and considering how they didn't really do much with last year to elevate it, I don't have much hope for Serbia. So yeah.
Well, could I just highlight? So Tony says Serbia might have a chance after the revamp. I've seen this comment several times. Can y'all please stop? That was a revamp of nothing. The song is still the song. Not to mention, I saw another comment in here where some people were talking about, but Serbia because the diaspora. I'm like, well, most of the Serbian people I know, they told me don't even react. Okay. I didn't even react to Serbia's video because the bulk of people were like, I won't watch it. And I was like, I respect that. Okay. I won't, we don't have to talk about it. I don't have to do a whole video. Still down with the mutant underground. I don't know. We got to figure out a cadence for this one. I hope Serbia is out, but I fear Serbia is in. Here's the thing. Aren't we voting at the beginning of the show now?
Not in the semifinals, I think. Just for
We're
the
not?
final.
Yeah.
Just for the final, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
They still have time to change their minds about that, though, right? Because I'll say this. Coming at the end is not always great if you see something before that's better.
Mm.
That's what I will say in semifinal 1. I think the EBU actually threw a bone to Estonia and Iceland by not having Sweden open the show.
Mm.
Because I think it would have just set the bar high where it's just like all the other fun things. It's like, oh, but you didn't do that. So, but the reverse works too. The reverse works in that situation as well. But yeah, back to our question. Who is definitely not qualified? So we all agreed on Georgia. Are we all agreeing on Serbia or does someone have hope for Serbia here? on the panel?
Agree.
No. Okay, so we all agree. Oh,
I don't
wait,
have
okay.
hope for Serbia, but I can see a pathway for their qualification. That's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. Is like I don't think they're DOA like Georgia is.
okay, okay. I could see a path. No, actually, I take it back. Because I'm like, could I make it work? Yeah, but the mental gymnastics I would have to do to make it work. Like, in some ways, I just think because it is already the demographic is already filled so much there that even though Prince has a beautiful voice, I just think at this point it's like, well, let me go take a tinkle, refill my drink, and and then I'll be ready for Erica's show, which I've been waiting this whole show for. I've been I've been watching this whole thing, waiting to get to.
And also Germany's just before him, which is a very big bop fan favorite. Just a big fat and completely different. And you got quite I mean, I wouldn't say bombastic, that's not the right word, but yeah, Prince is sandwiched between two very heavy hitters, and that's not going to do him any favors, especially because, as I said, I feel like the song sounds a bit outdated. It will really stand out in a bad way.
Okay, I was like, you hit that at the end in a bad way.
Yeah,
because I was like, it will stand out, and then and I was like, oh, okay. No, I'm back. Adam said, what is it with the Prince stands in the live?
Are we at all worried that countries like Australia, Malta, Finland might be stealing votes from each other? I've read a lot of people saying these songs appeal to the same voters.
See, but
might one of them miss out?
Well, I was like, if anyone misses out from the three, it's Australia. But if they miss out, it's their fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the staging wasn't like it'll be on them because the staging, it wasn't delivered, or on Gojo, like if he just gets on the stage and just like is doing whatever with no intentionality.
I will say with Australia as well, when I first heard the song, it really threw me off, and I'm wondering how other people will react, because I've grown to love it, but like I don't know how other people will react to it. I've had friends react to it and they're like, what the hell is this? Because the lyrics are so, I mean, we're not dirty, but I mean, I guess they kind of are. Like if you're an adult, like, you know what he's talking about. So that's what I'm worried about as well, is like, I think as Eurovision fans, we've grown to love it. And Gojo is obviously a great representative, but I think I'm worried about how the casuals will react to it. And especially as it's opening, it's also a risk of like, they might be thrown off by it, and then suddenly something great comes along later, so they won't vote for it at all. So yeah, I would have it as a qualifier, but I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't either. So yeah.
I mean, I just say, I just want to say though, I've seen what you're raising. The Australia, Malta, and Finland are the same demographic. I actually think they're all different demographics. Like Malta is way more like funky R&B kind of soul. I think Finland is giving us almost like this rousing rock kind of like entry. When I was interviewing Adonis, check out the interview. Adonis was noting that it was like there was something very 80s about Finland, which I didn't really pick up on, but I do think it is that kind of European 80s thing. Like, and I was like kind of almost like glam rock feel to it, like 70s-ish. And I'm like, okay. And then you've got Gojo, who is giving us this psychedelic kind of, what I would say in the US is like the dudes I went to high school with who played sports but like smoked a lot of weed. Like, this is the music they like, they kind of like. So I've often argued that just because they're all playing with sex, but I think they're all doing it in a different, like kind of sex sass. They're all doing it to different demographics, but that's just me, Lilli.
My biggest concern is with Australia and Malta both not having the best record when it comes to like public vote. You know, like we love these songs, but I still do have a fear for Malta, especially solely because Malta doesn't really do well with the public vote, typically speaking. Like they've brought great songs, and just with a public only semi voting, it makes me worry for them, and that's my main concern.
I think in fairness to Malta, I would say they tend to play much safer with their entries. And like as an Irish person, that's the same problem we have always had, that when you're from a small nation and you just don't have that natural diaspora, neighbor voting, etc., you do struggle in the televote when you're not sending things that are daring. But seeing how, particularly with like I see my friends on TikTok, like the amount of non-Eurovision fans who've been talking to me saying, I love that Malta song where she's swearing. It's really funny. Like Irish people love swearing. Like it's just like we're the opposite to British people in that way. Like we absolutely love that Malta are doing this. Like I've had colleagues in workplaces being like, this is so funny that she's swearing. Can she do that on the stage? I'll vote for that, you know? So I think they'll pick up votes from some Westerners, but it's important to point out that there's going to be people who won't like that as well. So could that alienate them? It depends the mood Europe is in on the night, I think.
And I mean, like, to go with what you said there as well, this has only ever happened to me twice, where a song before it got selected, I had a coworker who knew I was in the Eurovision, and they're like, have you heard this song from this country that they're sending? I'm like, Malta? That hasn't been selected yet. And it's like just a coworker out of the blue was like, have you heard that Maltese song? I'm like, oh, okay, I know which one you're talking about, but that hasn't been chosen yet. So I can see a pathway on that end as well there.
That happened. My boss, actually, he doesn't watch Eurovision. He watches it. He watches the semi because he's only watched it because he knows how much I like it. But before that, he never watched it. And even he sent me, even before it was selected, he sent me it was like a Instagram reel, and he was like, ha ha ha, this is really funny. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably gonna get picked. But what you guys were saying about Finland is like, and because I was going to mention it's very 80s because there's a little din din in it, like the synth. And my mum loves it. Like, because my mum, she's like early 60s. It's not the sort of song she normally goes for, but again, I think it's that like nostalgia. Same thing with like why obviously they're completely different, but a lot of people, for example, when they were watching the Grammys with their parents, and their parents watched Chapel Roan for the first time, and their parents loved Chapel Roan, and people were trying to figure out why do our parents love Chapel Roan so much? And they realized because there's a little 80s twinge to it. So I think Finland appeals to a much wider demographic than we like thought it would, which is great because obviously me and all my friends loved it. But then when I watched UNK with my mum, Finland was her favorite. Erica was her favorite out of the six. So that was surprising, but in a good way.
Well, one of my mom's favorites is Denmark. Do we think Denmark is going to make it? Because I'm sort of living in the world that I'm like, I can't really fight in the streets for it because it is Zara music, you know, for anyone who's worked in retail. Like, we have heard that song. I do love it. I sing along to it. Yeah. But I do sort of feel like it probably won't make it. I do love her voice though. Because I was realizing the only two I want to kind of hone in on are Denmark, and then looking at the comments, Armenia, because I think, you know, I've always said that I thought Armenia had a path to make it just off of the bombast of it. But we do have, I mean, Austria, we've got Czechia that I think is giving us bombast with a maybe more reliable vocal info package. So do we get some cancellation, I guess is what I'm getting at. And then mind you, Prince is there. I
think Armenia is out.
Okay, you're thinking Armenia is out. Because I was living in the world where I just was like, because when we got the song, I'm like, well, it depends upon what kind of everybody else does. And that, where are y'all at on Armenia and kind of Denmark?
I think Armenia is out. I I actually do not hate Denmark this year, which I know is shocking for me. I'm actually enjoying that song. I think they're borderline though.
I think they're both out.
I don't know, because last year we were saying we're not going to get Serbia and Slovenia, we're going to lose both, but we ended up getting both. So
Serbia, Slovenia, and Portugal.
Yes. I think we knew Portugal was a lock, but it was like Serbia and Slovenia. We were like, we're probably only going to get one, and we ended up getting both. But what we ended up losing was Belgium, who we I mean, maybe like towards the rehearsals, but like certainly like this time last year, we thought Belgium was a lock. And yeah, I think I'm living in the world where we can get both. I think we might get both, but I think there might be someone who we expected would do well might not qualify. And I'm thinking of, like, for example, like Greece, and one of the, I know I don't want to bring it up, but someone, I think there's usually a surprise, and I think we might get it in this semi especially.
Arguably, though, I feel like we actually haven't been getting as many surprises, though. Because even last year when people said, like, oh, Don's made it, it was a surprise. I mean, that was one of the most hyped songs in the national selection season, though. You know what I mean? Like, it had genuine buzz. Like, everyone wanted that to represent Latvia. Don's was well known. I'm not saying that I was living in a world where I thought it was like a safe qualifier, but it really wasn't crazy. To me, it wasn't crazy that it did. Belgium, unfortunately, some of y'all have been sipping, the Kool-Aid of Spain from 2015 and whatnot. And y'all have been getting a little bit delusional with your stuff. And that's the issue. When you overhype it so much, then you get let down. And I think they were just so blind to the real critiques, where it was like with Belgium, the song was a slow starter. Like everyone had been saying that to them. And also, I mean, let's be real, Belgium has an awful track record when it comes to staging, which is not a read, which is not anyone hating on you. Blame your broadcaster. Don't talk to us about it. Like, I can't figure out how to get them to stage well. So I bring that up to say, like, did I think Belgium was going to make it last year? I did. Like, I because all of y'all hyped it so much, talking about it had winner potential, and then it didn't even make it to the grand final. But we have to be able to talk objectively and take ourselves out of it. So I say all this to say, I actually feel like 2023 and last year weren't as many surprises. And so going into this year, I was like, if I have to do the mental gymnastics to make it work, I'm already doing too much. And that maybe the writing is on the wall earlier than not. Because I do think if we think thoughtfully of, Armenia. So we got Armenia, because Gojo isn't really in the category. So let's just say, maybe let's say that Gojo is. I don't think Gojo is. But Australia, Armenia, Austria, kind of Lithuania in the mix, not really, but let's just go on and put it in there for giggles. Then we get to Czechia, and then Serbia. Who are the two weak links out of that? I mean, the two weak links are Serbia and Armenia. Are they not?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that's the demographic, which, and I mean, I think we're even thinking of hype and stuff. Are people, I don't see a whole bunch of people fervent, about I'm a survivor, coming to higher. I mean, with your Ford F-150 and a Hemi engine. I just,
it's a truck commercial.
It is so a Ford
I have some intel on the songwriting as well, Alicia, behind that.
Oh, let's go.
We spoke to one of the songwriters recently, and I'm like, this is a little spoiler for any Éirevision listeners. It will come out next week. But we spoke to one of the Irish songwriters actually on this song. Not all of the songwriters have met on Armenia's song. Not all of them have even spoken to each other. And we said afterwards, isn't that very telling of the song, that there's quite a lot of songwriters listed on it, and they haven't all even met or spoken to each other. They've just taken pieces of songwriting from all of them, and someone has merged it all together. And I think that's very telling in the finished product.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay. I just, yeah, so, and then we're saying, so who thinks Denmark is going to make it? Or you're like 50-50 from the panel? Okay. Okay. See, I wouldn't be mad if it made it. Like, if it was a judge and jury televote of just me, I would qualify Denmark. Like, I would put it forward. And then we're saying another country we have not talked about, Luxembourg.
It depends on who it qualified instead of.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I want to bring up Luxembourg.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was kind of just saying Luxembourg was going to make it. I do think that this is not my demographic of music. The Luan DC of it all, not my thing. Luan DC made it. For those of y'all who discovered Eurovision in 2020, Luan DC happened in 2016. I did not think it needed to advance. It did. You know,
That was cute.
It was cute. Not for me, but cute. It was.
Luxembourg. Cute.
And I feel like with Luxembourg, it's the same thing, but I do think that there is a proven demographic and voting bloc that likes these entries. And Luxembourg, it on the ESC scoreboard, Luxembourg, isn't it doing pretty well? Like, it's not that bad.
I think Luxembourg has a built-in nostalgia factor for it, because it's obvious what they're referencing with the song, with the sound, everything when it comes to that song. So you're going to have older people who remember Eurovision from the 60s who are going to be like, oh, this reminds me of, Francis Gall. I'm going to vote for this. But also French language bubblegum pop has a dedicated fan base. I amongst them, but I'm not a big fan of Luxembourg this year, even though on paper it should be a song that really appeals to me.
I've seen a lot of people online because they had a revamp, and a lot of people are kind of starting to dig it now. I think again, I think it fell victim to the fact that the national final wasn't the strongest. I think you just associate that song with like the weak national final, but in reality, and I think obviously the staging could do with some work, but I think they have the budget to elevate it. But I think it's also very reminiscent of kind of what Luxembourg used to do at Eurovision, a cute girl with a French song, like, and I can definitely see the appeal for like all ages. I think it's something very nostalgic, and I can definitely see a route for it going to the final. Yeah, it's not, I wouldn't say, I'd say I think it's going to qualify. They qualified last year. Not that it's the same song, but I think it's very nostalgic. Because I remembered when I was talking to my mum about France, and I was showing my mum France, she was like, oh, this is what they used to do at Eurovision. They used to send a girl with a ballad. Like, so people, she associates it with that in a good way. And I think people will do the same with Luxembourg.
I'm doing the thumbs up, the thumbs down thing with my students again this year. And this year they're younger, they're fourth graders. So they're like 9, 10. And they love France. And I was like, you do what?
Wait, Luxembourg or France?
France.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah. So yeah, we haven't listened to all of the songs yet. So I will report back when we know more.
Okay, I did get it. Oh, they weren't.
Nope.
Which also. Mm-hmm. Well, but is this biased because I'm assuming these are Norwegian kids, so they're probably just
9 and 10. They don't have this bias yet.
Well, ESC Dakota did ask this, and we will close out this stream soon. We're going to talk about who we think is winning the semi where we're getting winner potential vibes from anyone performing in the second semifinal. But I do think this is a fair question. Alicia, I don't know if you plan to ask this, but there is a real likelihood that we will have a final without any ex-Yugo or Caucasus countries. Do you think we'll lose countries next year if this happens? Well, I won't answer. I'm going to turn it over to the panel. What do y'all think?
I was going to bring this up, Alicia. I was a little bit scared too, because the last time I dared criticize a Greek Eurovision entry in YouTube comments, I think back in 2018, I got eaten alive. I think it was a Weeby Blogs video when Oniramu didn't qualify, and I said I wasn't surprised. And I said, I love Greece, I love the Greek people, I'd love to visit you one day, but I don't think this entry was it. And somebody told me to stay in Western Europe with the fog and the rain and the sheep and to never come to their country. So,
well, Louise, I will let you on my yacht because I plan on being when Greece wins
to offend Balkan people because they are passionate people and I love them. And just for the record, I did go to Greece and I love that place so much. I would love a Eurovision there someday so much. I do wonder, is this the year we get a Balkan blackout? I mean, Albania is in semi 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But when it comes to semi 2, I mean, could there be a Balkan blackout? Like, are we going to have no Montenegro? Very likely. No Serbia? Possible. No Greece? It's borderline. And to be honest, I think Greece should go through. I think it would be a real shame for a song of that quality to not go through. But I think there's a possibility, there's a world that I'm living in where it doesn't. And I think, you know, Dakota mentions, of course, Georgia being a Caucasus country, ex-Yugo countries, all of that, like, not being in as well. I think it could happen, and I think that would actually be a real shame for the contest, like when we have countries like North Macedonia not coming back yet. Bosnia is a country I've wanted back for so many years. I think it spells out a bad story for countries who haven't come back yet, who we would love to see back. But I really think it could happen. And I think it's quite sad that actually, in general, Eurovision has gone in this direction where the Eastern countries are suffering. You know, we haven't had even Ukraine aside, we haven't had an Eastern win for quite some time in the contest. And I think that would be such a shame. So I'm prefacing that with saying, I love you, Balkan people. Please don't kill me. But I think in this semi, we could be in trouble.
Oh, goodness.
I was to say, I think it's a shame that Montenegro have come back and then they get put in the death slot. Because it's like, I think people are like, are you kidding me? Like, this is, because it's kind of like, I mean, it's not, it's a running joke stereotype that like, oh, they like to put kind of Balkan countries in the death slot, or but guess what they did? It's funny because when I was making my running order prediction, I was going to put Montenegro second, but I was thinking, wait, that's kind of too obvious. Surely the producers won't put it second. And guess what they did? They put it second, which is a shame because a lot of time they do put a ballad in second, which is fair enough because you need some balance. But they really could have boosted it if they put it in a better slot. We could have been having a different conversation. And I don't want countries to see that and think, well, what's the point if they're not going to reward us for like coming back? Like we've made the effort to come back and you're just going to screw us over in the running order. Like,
and they
could have been given a little bit of help. Like, yeah.
Like the Montenegro must be mad. They're like, Luxembourg came back last year and you gave them all that treatment. And now we come back and this is what we get. And somebody, I think it was on Reddit, pointed out there's a real pattern with the Balkan nations getting 2 and 3 in that running order slot. I think it's a problem.
Yeah, you don't see many Western countries in the second slot. It's not. Yeah, there is a pattern and it's kind of it's sad.
Oh, Lilli, you're on mute, I think. Oh, Lilli, you are going off and you are on mute. Oh, wait, here. Oh, I can't unmute Lilli. Lilli, you're on mute. I can't unmute Lilli because it says that oh wait, now you're no
Her
no.
mic keeps coming on and off, but when it comes
Yeah.
back on, we still can't hear her.
Oh, okay, Lilli, you might have to hop
Probably
out and hop back in. But okay, so we gotta close. This has been such a great conversation. But we gotta close with who has winner potential in the semi. So who do you think could win the semi? And who from the semi do you think has the potential to win the whole contest?
I think I've got two different answers for this. I think Finland can win the semi, but then I think Austria can win overall, because obviously we're talking about televote only. But I can see Finland, I can see Finland winning it. But I think because like Switzerland came fourth in their semi, which is really, really interesting. Like I think even Armenia, was it Armenia? Yeah, Armenia came third. So I think we're going to have a similar result here, where I think the jury winner and the televote winner are kind of going to be pretty different. So yeah, so I think Finland can win the semi, but I think Finland also has winner potential, period. But if I had to put a bet on it, I'd say Austria over Finland. But yeah, that's my answer.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump in and my answer is very similar in that I do think Finland can win the semi, and I do think Finland has the potential to win the whole thing. I still am living in a world where I don't think that Austria can win the whole thing. I do think the jury is going to be helpful. I just don't see, Switzerland was fifth with the public vote last year. I think that there's a lower threshold for what Austria can do with the televote. I think it caps out lower. I think we're more likely to get maybe a winner who's not the overall jury winner or the overall televote winner. So that makes it really hard for me to predict an overall winner. But I do think that for me, Finland has the winner potential for the semi.
Yeah, I agree with the girls. Finland has a sweet running order spot too. On top of it, Erika Vickman is known to a lot of people around Europe from before. She's in like that cool crew as well of like the Karia, Tommy Cash, Just Klein kind of fan club going on. Dark Horse is my girl from Malta. I mean, look, that's my world of Delulu. Put in the Lou in Delusion. I know it's Malta. They've got a low televote, but I would love her to win the semi. I think it would be hilarious. Like watching the EBU trying to scramble with censoring the word can't, and the audience are clearly going to scream it. Like that is a Eurovision story I could get behind. But I think Finland at the moment is definitely ahead in the race.
Lilli is still nothing. We hear nothing. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Keep talking and then maybe I can interpret what you're saying from lip reading. We can put my lip reading skills to the test. No, I'm kidding. With what do you think?
I'm the odd man out here. Not because I don't think Finland might win this semi, because I really think it might, but I really, really, really don't want it to. Yeah. I'm not going to be too mean, but it's on the other end of my favorite list. So I'm struggling with this semi, and all the songs that are likely qualifiers and winners and whatever are the songs that I always skip because they're not my kind of music in any way, shape, or form. But I do think you're right. I think Finland very easily might win this semi. I desperately hope that something else comes along and wins the whole thing. But yeah, looking at the list, I don't really see who else is gonna do it with the momentum it has. And looking at who she is, the style of music, and it's a Saturday. Well, actually, it's not. It's Thursday night. I was going to say it's a Saturday night and half the viewers are going to be drunk and they're going to vote for this anyway, but that's going to happen in the final. So yeah, I agree with you guys. I think Finland's going to win the semi.
Yeah, I'm thinking Finland is gonna take the semi. I'm not living in the I don't think I'm living in delusion, and I do think Malta could challenge for it because lest we forget, Jimacas came second in the televote in the semi. Malta has all of the organic buzz outside of the bubble.
Yes.
And organic buzz. I just want to be clear about that. So I do live in a world where I could see it. The other thing I will say is I think Malta has been out of the grand final for so long that people forget how Malta is treated by the juries. And Mariana can sing, like actually sing, is an actual vocalist. I do think that Malta needed to change the staging from the selection, which I think that they promised that they would change. So we're going to be seeing some different elements, which I think is good. I think that helps them. But also the fact that like even in the bubble, people are just thinking, and I mean, I said that I was like, when we got Austria, I was like, oh yeah, like I could see this winning the jury. I'm not going to lie, y'all. It might not. It actually might not. Like, this might be the time that France actually gets to like win the jury. Like, I think that's one. This could be a year where it happens. Not to mention the Netherlands.
Yes.
I'm just, in the name of, it couldn't be right, letting me go, ain't nobody but you. Like, it's gonna be delivered competently on the stage, but I do think the Netherlands, sometimes they get the staging right and sometimes it's not quite the competitive package. Like, I don't think that Europapa was the competitive staging package it needed to be last year. My personal opinion. So I just wouldn't count it out. And again, I think that the fandom is severely underestimating the power of Finland and Malta with the juries. I think the idea, like, Malta and Finland are going to get 12 points from juries. They're going to get 12 points from some people, like some countries. Like, it's going to happen. I don't know if the Netherlands gets 12 points, but I think the Netherlands just easily floats in that like 8-point range, that 7 to like 8-point range, I think. And that doesn't mean that I think Austria won't get some 12 points. I think that they will. But I think that there are people who will see merit in the full package of Finland, Malta. And I think there are just people studio cut wise who are going to feel France and the Netherlands, so they don't even have to do too much on the stage, if that makes any sense. I just said a lot. I don't know. I just said a lot.
I think this is going to be one of those years where I think the winner doesn't, I think kind of like 2016, where the winner isn't a jury winner or a televote winner. It's going to be somewhere like up there, like maybe top 3, maybe like third in each or something. And I think, I don't think we're going to get the same case we've had the last few years where the jury winner wins overall. I think the jury's going to be a bit more split this year. I think I guess I'm excited. I think it'll be more exciting. But yeah, I think the televote's going to have a lot more power this year than it has in previous years. Obviously Loreen came second, but I think it's going to be pretty split. I don't think the juries are going to be in agreement of their winner.
I agree. I just want to say to this comment, Belgium is not winning the jury in the final. Belgium will be there in the final. Don't worry. Belgium will be there, but Belgium is not winning the jury in the final. I love you, Gospodin. It's not going to happen.
Alicia, I would like the Albania nation to rise, please, because I see some of your comments.
That is my prayer. Like,
I want to go to Tirana next year.
That is like my prayer. Like, in the name of Go A,
my number one. It's my number one.
Come, like,
yes,
we have to be realistic. Like, I don't want to be delusional, but like, for real. And I mean, I'll be real. Like, I wouldn't be mad if Finland won. I wouldn't be mad if Malta won. Mm-hmm.
Who would host it if Malta won though? Because Malta, I don't think Malta has a stadium big enough. I don't know.
Allegedly they do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I
Allegedly
know
they do.
Albania apparently. I think they might. I think people are saying they can build a roof on something, but in terms of like indoor arenas, they don't have one that's big enough currently.
Well, but doesn't the EBU love that? They love the idea of, well, someone can host it on your behalf. Calling Manchester, calling Berlin, or because I think Germany's next up in line.
Yeah, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. People who are Albanian have insisted to me their government will make it happen. They will not. They will find a way to host it. They want to host it.
Let's make
Yeah.
it GoFundMe. I think like with the subscribers
know.
of Alicia's channel and the great people of the Ladies' Choice viewers, I think we can make Albania a reality. Let's build a tent.
Let's go fund it. Yeah.
Malta has a tent.
Well-
The national final.
Welcome back, Lilli.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. I was thinking Malta has a tent. They drag they drag her
Power
out
of
every
Albania
year.
brought you back, girl.
Yeah. I don't know, man. My mic. I need to get a new mic cord. I think because this mic hates me.
Well, thank y'all so much. We've
What Alicia said, that you won't be mad if Finland wins.
no, I won't.
I would.
I won't.
You won't be mad if Malta wins. I would. But I would not be mad if Albania wins.
Yeah.
In the name of Albania, we're going to close out this stream. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like this video. Please do subscribe. Go follow the amazing ladies that are on this panel. We are all creating content. We are all in this community. I just want to thank everyone for joining. And thank you to my panel for sharing your thoughts, giving me your time, your energy. And some of us are going to be back. This is going to be a rotating panel of folks. So we're going to be back on Tuesday going live. Then we're taking a little bit of a break. And then I think we're back in May. So at this point, we will have had rehearsals and we're going to be talking about basically breaking down the genres because we'll start to see, I think we'll have the pre-parties done. We'll have a better view of like, okay, who's delivering, who's not, is somebody still sick? You know what I mean? We're going to just have a great conversation. So thank y'all for joining and thank you to my panel. Bye.
Yeah.